Hello and welcome to Getting Hard in Nate's Backyard. This evening in Nancy's basement. I am here with CC Getty.
Yes, that's right.
CC Getty.
And that's right.
And Celestia.
Hey.
And Che.
Hey, everybody.
And Nancy.
Hi, everyone.
This podcast is brought to you by Temple Entertainment. Why don't you talk to the people about Temple Entertainment a little bit there, Che? What do they do? What do they do?
Our good friend, DJ Temple, he started a company called Temple Entertainment, and the whole idea was just to be able to try to help other musicians and artists, you know, get what they need done, and just make things happen for everybody, you know, because as, you know, he's been through a lot. He's done lots of deals, and, you know, even down to merch. If you can think of something that a band needs done, like, they can get it done. Right down to taxes and everything. It's crazy.
Yeah. So
booking tours,
booking shows. Like Che said, anything you need as a band. I imagine management style services too. Maybe cut a few deals on your behalf.
Well, you know, I was even thinking that I want to talk to them maybe about trying to get Doug some endorsement.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I'm pretty sure DJ might. I'm not sure if it's what he's endorsed by.
Yeah, he's endorsed by
pickup company.
A couple places, I think. Yeah.
So I mean, you know, that's just one thing. He's already done that, so he can, and he charges. Of course, he charges a bit of money because he's spending time on it. So boom. But you know what? He'll tell you exactly what he's charging you for it, and he's willing to be totally open and transparent with it. I think that's pretty cool.
He did our website and did it really quickly.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, I've heard a lot of positive reviews in that way, that, like you say, he bills fairly and correctly and he's fast and stuff. So go to iwantshows.com. Isn't that what his website is?
I think so, yeah. iwantshows.com.
TempleEntertainment.com.
Yeah, TempleEntertainment.com. I'm sure it's probably GingerTornado.com. I don't know.
Yeah, check out the Ginger Tornado too. He is the spinniest. This podcast is also brought to you by Big Nate Productions. Oh, fuck. Right Hook Mics. Go to righthookmics.com, order up a mic. We've got these, our guests are using them. The Celestia and Che are using the metal mic.
Mic.
And then CC over here is using the IG-88 Studio prototype.
There you go.
And yeah, good prices, rad stuff. Local dude. Big James is rad. And us ruled. Rip. Yeah, and then this podcast is also brought to you by Big Nate Productions. Go to bignateproductions.com right now and buy tickets to motherfucking Annihilator on June 15th and 16th in Calgary and June 17th in Edmonton. Yeah, you can also go, I think, Ticketfly and ConcertWorks. It's our first co-promotion with ConcertWorks.
Cool. That's awesome.
We're really excited about that, and those are some great people there. Check out concertworks.ca as well. Yeah, I think that's it. So now I'd like to officially welcome all y'all here. Welcome.
Thank you.
So we're chatting today about an interesting endeavor you folks have coming up. Tell the people what it is. Tell them how it came about, where the idea came from.
Well,
start by plugging it.
Well, the 420 Music and Arts Festival happening at Distortion, April 20, 21, 22. We actually have a free show on the 19th as we load all the gear in. Some fun happening that night.
Is that the Wednesday?
That's the Wednesday, yeah.
Oh, cool.
And then we have, of course, the expo as well. The 420 Expo at Distortion on the 22nd. So,
is that in Distortion, the venue?
it is in Distortion.
It is, yes.
Oh, you're having the expo in the venue.
Well,
Because I'd heard maybe you're going to take days in or something like that.
Well, we
at one
originally
point.
were going to, but
Fuck those guys, so, you know. That's what I'm going to say right now.
unfortunately, with choosing the name 420, we also limited ourselves in some things, and a lot of people shied away from the 420 name and connotation. So
Right.
Days In wouldn't allow us to have it in there, and Distortion said, hell yeah, we'll do
Put it
it.
in Distortion.
You should have called it Nambla.
Welcome to 2017. Like, I mean, I thought we were like a little bit more advanced than that.
That's what I thought.
Hey, that's okay. This is our first year, and we're gonna grow bigger each year. And if they don't want to be involved to start, that's their own decision. So
Yeah, and I
happy
can
to announce that
understand,
we're booking our
too.
bands at the Holiday Inn down the street is where they're staying. So no, but where were we? We were talking about the festival. So we had 22 bands, 3 days, food trucks, beard contests.
Yeah, we got some really great vendors coming in, a lot of local artists and artisans and craftspeople that do some pretty cool shit. And yeah.
Well, you got Maria Joaquin
Yes.
from Strangers.
Yeah.
And like this guy, his art is like amazing. Like I'm pretty sure it's all charcoal, but you got to see this guy's work. And I'm
what's
going
his
down
name
there.
online? What does he do?
Maria?
Oh, he just does it under
I think
does he have
so.
a page?
I think it's
I think he has a page,
MariaJoaquin.com.
Yeah, I think he's got a separate page for his art and everything. But yeah, I'm purposely going to save up some money for a picture from him because I've been wanting to get one for a while. And come down there. I'm going to drive down there sober.
Yes.
I'm going to drive my picture back home.
Excellent.
Sober. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to get wasted.
And that's the cool thing. That's the cool
Yeah.
thing about the expo. Is
Yeah.
this year, because it is in Distortion, you can actually right at 10 o'clock in the morning you can grab a beer.
Really?
Yes, and you
Why
can
not,
drink
right?
the whole time
Duh.
during the expo.
Yeah.
So
Wow, that works out even better then.
yeah,
that way.
it'll be a lot of fun.
You'll have to be in some stuffy hotel.
Yeah, we
Motel.
had done one in December, and I think by the time it was over, half the vendors were more than half cut. So it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
So that gives you an idea of the timeline there. So it does start at 10 a.m. is when the
10 a.m.
10
Doors
to
open.
4.
Yeah,
We'll kick
Is
you
the
out.
expo?
Go do what you want at 4:20 in the afternoon. I'm sure
go
it'll be-
eat some food truck food.
I'm sure there'll be a Wolfat sound check happening around that time, and then I think the doors open back up at 6 o'clock. Is it 5 o'clock?
5:30.
5:30, and the music. But yeah, we got music starting every day at 7 o'clock at least, or 7:30, I think, and 7 or 8 bands each day.
Cool.
Going to be a good time.
Fucking right. Awesome.
So you're doing, I was just going to say, you're doing a free kickoff show, right?
Yeah, we have it. Like I was saying, we have the free show on the 19th. We figured we have to load. Axe Music was gracious enough to help us out with an amazing backline, so we're loading that in on the Wednesday the 19th. And we're gonna, when we're set up, ready to go, we're gonna open up the doors. We got 3 bands playing. We got again, my brain's gonna have to work. We have Powerhouse is playing. Powerhouse.
Yeah.
They are like reggae, ska, funk, all kinds of stuff. And really, we're
Cool.
having a 420 festival. We gotta have reggae.
Sure, yeah.
Gotta have reggae in there somehow. We got our friends from 10 Dead Crow.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And, gotta have some twang happening. It's Calgary.
Yeah,
but
some
Wesley's
country-
told me he's got a
country
secret going
fried
on.
blues.
He knows that we love Clutch and it's a stoner festival. So we're working on, I won't say what it is, but we're working on something really special by
Nice.
Clutch. And you know what, you guys, I'm thinking, I can't remember the name of the first band.
I can.
Celestia's got it.
Embargoed.
Embargoed.
Brand new band.
Brand new band.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, give us a chance. And we
Jeez.
said, why the hell not?
Noise, kind of noise rock, alternative group,
Yeah.
sludgy kind of stuff. So,
And I tend to really love noise rock and sludge.
yeah.
So
we figured we tossed, like we normally do with other shows, just toss 3 bands together just to make sure the gear is all working. But we have vendors like Pussy Kush will be set up that night. The Emporium will be set up that night as well.
Yeah.
We'll have first stab at merch as well. And I believe I've been talking with Kent from Wolfat. We're flying Wolfat up from Dallas, Texas,
Okay.
for their first show ever in Canada. If you can
Whoa.
believe that, they chose our festival. But he was really stoked about bringing merch up, and he knows the merch will sell, especially vinyl. So I think I've convinced him he's actually going to send the merch up via courier to where I work for real, and we're going to have all the Wolfat merchandise there from Wednesday on.
Wow,
set
cool.
up selling Wolfat, because hey,
That's awesome.
That's what we're building up to, is those 3 guys laying down some heavy psychedelic doom blues for us on Saturday night. So
Nice.
yeah, we wanted to do it too because there's quite a few passes sold. So we wanted to actually have the opportunity for people to come in and get their wristband beforehand, so there's not kind of a log jam.
you guys know how that works with bands and stuff like that. So that's one of the things we definitely learned watching you guys do what you do, is that if you can get people in early to get that taken care of, just to speed things up. So and again, stuff's all gonna be set up, so why not have it being played that night?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's so cool you're set up there and you've kind of just taken over and it's at one venue.
Yeah.
Whenever we split up into other venues, it made it fucky.
Yeah, well,
It makes it fucky.
unfortunately, that will likely happen in the future.
Yeah.
But right now, we kind of have the luxury of having it in the one venue, and it's
Yeah,
great.
sure.
That's cool.
How much your tickets, and where can people get tickets?
Well, you know, it's funny. We were gonna April Fool's Day. They were gonna go up to $75 for the 3-day pass, but we decided to keep it at $65 because they're selling pretty decently, and it's still a smoking deal,
Yeah.
$65. But you can go right to our website, 420musicandartsfestival.com or .ca. You can go to the Facebook page, just search 420 Music and Arts Festival, and go to the store and buy there. You can buy your weekend passes, all 3 days, like I said, for $65. But we're doing day tickets as well, so if you can only come down to 420, that's the one you want to party at, you can get tickets to that one and come down and see Black Mastiff and La Chinga and High Kicks and Hypnopilot and Buffalo Budbuster, Set in Stone. And or is it 20 bucks
Electric
advance?
Revival.
Electric Revival. $20 advance, 25 at the door. Ancients on Friday night. What is it? $25 advance, 30 at the door. We have Ancients. Dead Quiet is coming out from Vancouver. They're like a super group. You got to check out some of the guys that are in that.
Yeah, well, that name rings a bell.
Well, I don't have the information in front of me, but I know one of the guys from 3 Inches of Blood is in the band.
Oh,
that's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or isn't that their new band? Isn't it like 3 of them from 3 Inches of Blood?
Well, there's, I don't know, 4 or 5 guys in the band, but it's just crazy psychedelic doom with keyboards and banjos.
Yeah, I checked out that album. It's pretty cool, man.
It is a great album. You're wearing the shirt, man. Lava Goat, they're coming out from Saskatchewan. We brought a trio of bands from Saskatchewan for the Friday night. Orbital Express and Chronobot as well.
Yeah.
Thanks to you, Che.
Oh, yeah. I was really
conversation.
happy, that they got to sneak onto the festival at the last minute. Just, they had missed a message,
Yeah,
you know.
it's Facebook. Sometimes I go
And that,
places.
that goes to bands out there too. Like, check your
shit out,
messages.
man.
Like, you have there's opportunities out there for you. And,
we're on
miss them.
The Stoner Rock band didn't check their messages.
We also got Lord Osis, Russ in town here, and Hunted by Ravens. So that's 25 advance, 30 at the door.
Which is funny too.
What,
Because
Lord Osis?
remember I put on that 420 party that one time at the old distillery?
That's psychedelic stuff.
Lord Osis was
Great.
on that
It's
bill
cool,
with
too.
us.
Well, you know what?
And Crown Goblin. Yeah.
I had never seen them before, and I went to a show, and I was like, oh my God, we have to have these guys on the festival. And I just went.
You called me.
I called
I
him.
stayed at home that night, and she called me at home saying,
And I went up and I talked to Russ right away, and I said, "Hey, you have to, come onto this festival."
I said,
And they're
"Sure, why not?
Okay,
We're
we've
gonna
got to
do
check
bands."
a couple things, but I'm sure we can do it. We don't play many shows, so yeah, they're on the bill. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
Yeah.
And then Saturday, of course, Basil Rabba kicks it off. They don't even have music out yet, but Kellen from Triton, he knows what he's doing, so I trusted him and just heard a demo and said, "Yep, you guys can come down and play." And we got our friends from Red Deer, Brown Dwarf are playing, Black Thunder from Saskatchewan are coming out, Nikki Valentine, they're just putting out new music, got videos happening. They're apparently filming the whole set for something that night as well.
Nice.
Mammoth Grove is playing, good friends of Distortion in Calgary. And it sounds like Cowpuncher, well, I don't know what I can say about them.
No,
but,
don't say too much.
Yeah, Cowpuncher be playing, could be quite eventful because it's Cowpuncher, you just never know. And of course, Crown Goblin, you can't have a 420 festival.
From a guy, you never know with the guy who wears a fucking captain's hat all the time.
That is a character. There's no doubt about that. Our first interaction with the festival was quite interesting, and
It's just
kudos to
continued.
RK for pulling it all together and getting them involved. They're great friends of Crown Goblin, and so we thought we'd put them on together. But kind of the whole festival bookends with Hypnopilot and Crown Goblin for local music. I mean, those are the two bands that when you think of stoner rock in Calgary, Hypnopilot pretty much was the first band from what I didn't know them
and they
before
were
now, but
good friends of mine.
tunes.
Like when Power of Murder, that was our old band, me and Doug, and we played a whole bunch of shows with Hypnopilot, and
Yeah, that's when they were
guys.
active, like 04 to 06.
Yeah, and
Oh,
they're just super cool guys, and I thought that they were like from somewhere else because I
Well,
was
they're
checking
kind
out
of
like
all over,
heavy.com or whatever it was, or I can't remember, stonerrock.com. I found them on there and I was listening to them, and then I seen in albertametal.net that hey, Hypnopilot wants to play a show in Calgary, and I was like, cool, man, like I've been listening to these guys for a while now, I'm going to contact them. And I just thought it was, they're on tour or something, they needed people to play. And no, we're from Calgary. And I was like, no way, fuck. And it just,
Well,
they were
there's
so
drummers from
rad.
Lethbridge, though.
Yeah, he lives in Lethbridge now. He used to live in Calgary.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just like, they were so rad that it just kind of slipped my mind that possibly they were from Calgary. Like,
Well, I think it was you and Mark Russell told me about them, and they played the D's 10th anniversary. And I mean, I didn't have any question they should be on the bill, but when we saw them there, they were fucking awesome.
Well, and they were on the bill, obviously, before that even happened. And how that happened was really quite funny. We had announced the Truck Fighters show, and all of a sudden, is it Matt from...
Yeah, Matt is the singer, guitarist.
He's in the band freaking out. He's like, oh my God, we need to play at this. And we were like, well, we can't put you on that, but we might have something else. And it happened really quickly. Like once we started talking to him, it was like within a matter of like a day, that was it. They were on the bill.
Matt is one of the best vocalists in this city. Like, if you really get listening to all their albums, like, really good. It's really, really good.
And of course, if you're gonna have a 420 fest, we have to have Crown Goblin. And they had so much stuff going on, and you know,
I love mixing that band.
Well, and
they're fucking
bloody damn
awesome.
Great band too. But
God damn it!
You know, Darty was telling me they had all these shows happening, and you know, Cam, we're gonna be, you know, we can't honor the exclusion clause. I'm like, well, I don't care. It's 420. We have to have you play. I actually wanted them to be one of the headlining acts on 420, but when they found out about Wolfat, their last album was almost produced by Kent. They're good friends after Desert Fest. Like, we want to play with Wolfat, like. So they actually took a step down across the board to play with Wolfat, and then the whole Wolfat thing was pretty cool, getting these guys to come up too. So so what is that? That's $30 advance,
35
and 35 at the door. So you can buy single day tickets, you can buy 3-day passes. The 3-day pass is the way to go. If you're even thinking of coming to 2 nights, it's definitely a great value.
And
so.
you know, when Cam or CC Getty, sorry buddy, So anyways, so when he gave me a call one day, and he's like, I'm going to tell you about something here. And I was like, what's going on? And he's like, I'm going to do this 420 festival. And we got talking about prices, and I was like, probably one of the biggest things is just keeping that price low. No. Because you don't want to price yourself out of people going to where there's, you know how people are, they get backlashy.
Unless you're Metallica.
Yeah.
But then you can have $400 fucking tickets and nobody cares.
You know, or Steel Panther or whatever is charging $100.
I'm pretty mad about that.
I bet you lots of tickets are going to be given away at that one.
Well,
you know,
I'm about to send them an email myself. And be like,
what do you guys
Come on.
Well, hey man, they found people to agree to it, so whatever, all the power to them, I guess.
I think we got the tickets are pretty affordable.
Yeah, and I was really happy when he announced all the ticket prices. I was like, I think he nailed it.
Well, I actually consulted with you then about the ticket prices too. We came to you and actually took some guidance from you as well.
Yeah,
so the Che price is in effect on a couple of those days.
Yeah,
no doubt about that.
Definitely.
And that's good.
Yeah,
because I truly think, $20, 25, 30 for each day, or 65.
Yeah,
I still think people should have gotten $50 when we first had the early bird.
Well, it's typical.
They'll have to watch next year.
I did.
Exactly. See, Nancy's part.
Next year, I think we're going to try and do it so people can buy Christmas gifts for each other.
Yeah.
For the festival.
Yeah, that's always good.
Yeah.
So,
man, you're a stoner if you're buying that for someone. At Christmas.
Totally.
Yeah.
Why not?
Here's a bag of weed and a 420 fest.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's kind of funny how the whole thing came about too. We were actually getting ready to move, and we were having a garage sale, and Katie from Distortion just happened to show up, and I don't know how did that. But we were just.
Well, I'd been trying to book stoner bands, but it just never had really worked out. Actually, I'd been talking to Hunted by Ravens and talking to Cron Goblin, and things just weren't happening. And then I had been thinking about trying to get La Chinga to come out.
Yeah, I love La Chinga.
And we started talking to Carl from the band, and they've toured all across Europe, and they toured all through BC.
Yeah.
And that's it. They've never played anywhere outside of province in Canada. And Katie said, well, we quickly look at the calendar and realize that 420 is a Thursday this year. And she's like, well, it's on a Thursday this year. I'm like, well, I guess that'd be a good reason to go out on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
And we thought maybe we could somehow coax La Chinga to come out on a Thursday night. But I'm already thinking, it's a Thursday. These guys have to give up a day's work probably, or take holidays to come out. And she's like, well, would you want to do a Thursday and a Friday? I said, well, there are a lot of stoner bands that are pretty cool and doom bands, and we can probably get a few things happening. And so we actually truly started only with two days.
Yeah.
But then
before she left.
She knew what was, she was planning us from the very beginning. Cause that's what Katie does. Is she wants to book nights and fill the room and have things happen
and not have to worry about it.
That's right. And come on, Cam, if you can, you've done how many shows with us, Cam? Well, this many. How hard is it to book 4 or 5 bands on a night? Well, I guess I could do maybe 3 in a row, and then all of a sudden we jumped from 5 bands a night to 6 to 7 to 8 and
an expo.
But let's just start out so big with bands we wanted to be involved in, and then it suddenly just started to literally fall together.
Yeah, cool. But it was kind of funny because even after we came up with that idea, it was like we moved and then everything, I don't know, kind of got put on hold. And then one day Patrick was over at our place and him and Cam were just sitting around talking about, I don't know, what bands would we have on this. And I think that must have been...
we'd already even messaged some bands.
Yeah, that was probably like end of November. So really we didn't start working on this till end of November, which is pretty crazy.
Put it together in 4 or 5 weeks, really.
And then he started talking to bands and they were saying, we'll come out. And he's like, well, what should we do? And I'm like, well, we either have to book them or we have to say we're not doing this whole thing. What is it? And he's like, I guess we're booking bands. That's how it's gone.
That's cool. And now you have a festival, right? The fucking snowball starts rolling down the hill.
Yeah,
it's
for
fucking
sure.
huge and taking everybody out.
It just the same way Nate just wanted a birthday party. You got Calgary Metal Fest.
Right? Just wanted a stoner show in 420.
In all honesty, there's never anything. Not that I'm a big stoner or nothing like that, but I'd never noticed that there was anything happening in Calgary on 420, and it just, I know we're a hub of conservatism in Calgary, but I mean, we all know how things work in the city, and you see people everywhere doing their thing at shows and the whole medical side of it all, and I'm also so tired of everyone thinking stoner rock equals no matter what you're into or who you are, that you are a stoner. And I'm tired of all the
because I don't. You guys aren't like my Rastafarian friends or anything like that. I don't be like, whoa man, let's go do some gravity bong hits, fucking down by the river.
I'm down. Just don't bring me to the river for it.
Well, I think actually, truthfully, Celestia are really a great example because it's really yin and yang. I mean, no and yes, really, right? But it doesn't mean that because you don't, it doesn't mean you're not cool. I mean, look what we've put together because you don't smoke pot. Who cares?
So talk more like, I mean, as an outsider on this, I explain more of what the expo is and what it's doing and the whole idea behind it. Who's going to be there and what they're going to be doing. And
the expo has been.
Do you guys, here's my biggest question.
Okay.
Actually, do you guys have a Calgary police table?
The DARE program.
You know what? I actually had thought we should maybe be in contact with them because I'm sure they're going to show up. And it's really funny because I think some people's perception of the whole thing is that we're going to be like majorly hotboxing Distortion the whole weekend. Like you can come in and there's just going to be piles of weed everywhere. And
works.
Unfortunately, it's still illegal. Sounds like not for too much longer, but it is still illegal, and we can't do it. We had somebody who wanted to come in and sell edibles, and I said, "No, you can't do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I would love to. I'm totally cool with that kind of thing, but you just can't do that."
But doesn't it if they were an authorized dealer though?
Well,
you know what? If you were a company X and that's what you did.
I mean, the law right now is that if you have, I've seen it happen at multiple bars here in town, where buddy, they hip hop shows and shit, and they're searching everybody, and it's like, well, what's
here's
this?
My card.
And he's like, well, here's my card, and then it's like, okay, well, just don't smoke in front of the door, and fucking everything's fine. So. I mean, I guess that would get dicey with could you have an authorized dealer even in a bar?
Well, you could,
but because medicinal people could buy.
You can have them there, but how the system works, it doesn't work
right now.
Like
it doesn't work that way. I know there are places that are doing
it's,
things in BC and Toronto, and
I guess
Mark Emery's
it
doing
being a
this
public
thing.
house.
Right?
It's that's a public place.
But those are guys that are just not kudos to them. They're risking it right now to get set up for the future, and
Yeah.
Well,
Right now, if you're gonna
there's
do it
also
legally,
a level of activism what goes on.
There is,
with,
for sure. And we're
with
down
all
for
these
that. And I
people.
think we have we have Normal's going to be at the expo
Yeah.
and at the festival as well. So we're all about the activism. But I mean, that's the whole idea, is bringing it all together, whether it be activism for the coming legalization or just bringing people's awareness as to what it is and what it isn't, again, reducing that stereotype, bringing the whole idea of what the medical thing can do, because, I mean, I suffer from Crohn's. I've just gone through getting my prescription done, and I'm looking at, I don't want to get high. I want the CBDs. I want the CBDs in my body. They're going to help me with the disease that, can, out of nowhere, affect me. And I may not look like I'm suffering, but Crohn's is
fucked.
It's like I posted on my Facebook page today. Crohn's is shitty.
Yeah.
And Harley, you're making a pun, but it is a pun. But it's true. Yeah. If you can't make fun of it, then you're screwed.
Doesn't Andrew Henwood have that too? Is that what he has?
Yeah.
Or colitis or something?
Yeah.
And it's fucking like, this guy's ripped, jacked, fucking.
Sure.
He is the most jacked dude, and I know that he does not do steroids.
Yeah.
He does it for a living, so he's super jacked.
Oh, you're talking about Andrew?
Yeah, Andrew Henwood.
I know.
Retired training systems.
And if you hear this, Andrew, you can re-add me on Facebook. There's no reason to delete me.
Yeah, he kind of did the same to me, and I had to get in his face.
That's okay. That's okay. Some people like to kick up a little dust.
But you know what? He's had multiple surgeries.
Yeah.
He has had a really, really tough time, and he still does. He still does.
Yeah.
But he is in amazing shape. Like, he is 100% natural,
But
and he's amazing.
He'd be fucked without it. He'd be fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy should be allowed to smoke as much weed as he wants.
It just goes to show you, it doesn't matter how healthy you are with Crohn's. I mean, it affects people in different ways all the time.
Yeah.
And
Some people think it's just like Crohn's is I've seen it hit people that, professionals and stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, in chronic pain
that
too.
on a
I mean,
pedestal.
I suffer from chronic pain from multiple car accidents and sports injuries, and I'm in pain every single day. Like, if I go to a doctor or to a chiropractor, they say, what's your pain level? My normal pain level is 3, and that becomes a new 0 because you're just like, well, that's what I have to live with every day, and it's really, really tough to live with that. And then you start taking, all kinds of different medication. I mean, today I saw a specialist for an ear problem, but he was asking me, what medication do you take? And I said, well, I take quite a bit of naproxen. And he's like, oh, how long have you been taking that for? And I said, a long time. And he's like, I'm really worried about your stomach. And he said, you need to go back to your doctor and get this other formula. And I said, well, I actually have a prescription now for medical marijuana. I don't smoke it at all. I'm not interested in THC. I'm interested in the CBD oils, but I can't even get it right now. One of the big problems we're seeing is that there's such a huge influx into the medical marijuana. You
can't grow it fast enough.
Yeah, they changed the laws not too long ago, and there's so many people coming into the system because there's more clinics out there that a lot of the producers are struggling to keep up with it.
Well, and to get locked down to one.
Yeah, and that's a problem because how the system works is you have to actually choose someone, and then you're stuck with them. So I haven't been able to buy any of my CBDs.
Since you got your prescription, you haven't been able to buy it.
Well, and I'll tell you the way around that. The way around that is to go to another marijuana clinic and get another prescription for whatever they'll give you.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them popping up. Like, I mean, you can hear them all over the radio now. Like I
get emails for ones that are you can order from here. You don't even need a prescription.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But the funny thing
it's like the Wild West right now.
That's what happens with money. Like,
I keep that's scary though. I mean, to be. Why is that like that?
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, it is
like,
true. Think about it. It is
scary,
truly the next huge industry. I have a friend of mine who works in Industry X, I won't say, but he's thinking of getting out, and I keep saying, man, you have to get into this industry because, pardon the pun, it is budding, but it's like if you could you're about to crack a beer, but if you could get in on the alcohol industry when it very first started,
I'd be a pirate.
But if you could be the guy that owns Guinness breweries, or you could be Seagram's, or you could be Budweiser. It's the same thing coming along now with marijuana, whether it be for medical reasons, whether it be for industrial hemp reasons, which are far and vast that can help the planet, or whether it be for recreational reasons. Doesn't really matter.
Also industrial lubricants. It's fucking nuts.
Hemp. I'm not like
industrial
this is the
lubricants
thing
made out of that shit is the best. It's like the highest end shit.
This is one thing we haven't even really had a chance to really explore for the festival or the expo is the advantages to the earth of industrial hemp for what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But the clothes we wear.
Fuck! Don't bring that up here, dude.
I am right now. The
We build
construction
spiraling
materials.
fucking tunnels to the center of the earth here. That's what we do.
Hey, we're all
That's what
bunch
we
of conspiracy
fucking do.
theorists in here, I know,
Well,
anyways. But
That's the basis of our industry.
Hemp could save the earth from the things that move our cars that don't emit poisonous gases. You guys know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Just look it up on the internet. Like, it's
Yeah.
simple as that.
But you know, the funny thing too of the whole thing is, so we had this intention, like I love supporting local artists if possible. I used to have a store where I would carry a lot of local artists and designers and artisans in it, and it was always really important to me to try and, it's just like local music. You want people to see and hear them.
Shop local.
Yeah.
I always wanted people to see local artists because there's such amazing artists out there, and I get tired of people going to Walmart and buying shitty wall art for their house.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
when you could buy something from someone locally who does an amazing job, and it doesn't really cost a whole
So there you
hell of
go.
a lot of money.
Talk more about who's at the expo then. Like
So,
if
well,
I show up to the expo, what am I going to see?
you are going to see some pretty interesting things. We have a girl from, she has a company called Geo Rev Hooping, and what she does is she does dances with hula hoops to music, and she actually does classes.
Okay, good. I've been listening to too much Steel Panther, so I'm glad.
I knew you were going to think that.
Visualizing.
Of course, yeah.
So she'll be doing demonstrations and actually selling hula hoops, and if people want to sign up for classes, they can. So
That's cool.
There's that type of thing. There's a girl who does live art, so live portrait painting and body painting.
Body painting.
So she'll be there.
And it is 18 plus.
paints
so,
with her body or paints bodies?
She paints people's bodies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
so you can come down and get
But
naked.
that was like
Yeah, more visualization, more visualization.
And
Remember
become
Big
whatever art
Lebowski?
you
Maud
want to be.
Lebowski? She had her on that thing and
Yeah.
just like spraying paint down.
Yeah.
Well, we have
Hilarious,
very
right.
different various different artists. So people that do, drawings, or people who do paintings. We have a girl who does paintings, and she does abstract edible art. So that she makes cookies, and she does abstract painting on the cookies.
Nice.
We've got a sculptor.
Starry night. Fuck am I high.
There are no drugs in the cookies.
Sorry.
We've got a sculptor coming down, and he makes these incredible animal sculptures. They tend to be maybe a little bit more pricey, but he also has these really cool mugs that he sells for like, I think $40 that I was looking at them going, I have to have one of those. They're really, really wicked coffee mugs. And we've got, I'm trying to, there's so many of them.
Lars Works will be there.
Yeah, Lars Works, he's one of our sponsors actually, and he just came on board recently. He makes wooden lawn chairs. They're kind of like Adirondack, but probably a little bit bigger, and you're not like half lying down when you're in the chair, but he calls them the skull thrones, and he actually is a wood burner as well, so he burns skulls into them, and he can do almost any kind of design. We were talking about him making a Iron
chair.
Maiden Eddie chair.
Eddie chair? Can you imagine?
Yeah, but he does.
All of a sudden, Nancy wants to buy one right now.
The thing
She's got
that-
the money too.
Yeah, the thing,
I'm going to tell you right now.
yeah.
Order me one up.
But he does other things too. He
Yeah,
does
he
all kinds
does
of.
all kinds of really cool plaques and
and-
things like that. And his
Yeah.
plan is to actually do some wood burning there. So he's bringing his cargo trailer. He's going to flip down the back right out in front of Distortion, and people can actually walk in and watch him work.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
That's fucking
yeah,
neat.
it's going to be pretty interesting. And then we've got guys that are doing leather work. We've got one guy who makes all kinds of, I don't know, stoner related tooled leather type things.
Cool.
So I've seen him.
Your pipe holder.
Well, yeah, and then,
Long sheath.
Yeah, the leather attachment that goes on your belt. To hold your little
and then
pipe.
I actually just contacted by another guy who does Viking leather work.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, so I'm like, I think I have to have two leather workers because they will be very different. So we'll have that kind of thing. We've got the Bandits Van Club that are going to be there, and Evil
What
Eye
are they
Rock
going
Bar.
to do?
Well, they're going to be talking about their van club. Who knows? Maybe they'll be
They're gonna
dressed.
party. That's what they're gonna do. I'm pretty sure that's what their whole deal is, right?
Beer bongs and real bongs.
So they'll be there, and they'll have Evil Eye Rock art as well. So you'll get to see some pretty cool posters from local shows that members have made in the past.
And original artwork as well.
Yeah, original artwork.
We also have our sponsors, like I said before, the Hemporium will be there selling all their neat little doodads and items, and we have our own brand of incense we'll be selling as well.
Yeah.
And don't forget Pussy Kush, organic catnip. Keep your pussy happy at home.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, and we also
Nice.
have a woman.
Or keep it high at least.
Cats deserve to be high as well. I mean, there's no
I think we're
discriminating.
probably all animal lovers here, right? And I'm a former cat owner. I'm sure I'll be a cat owner again. And my cats certainly love the catnip. And Trevor and his crew at Pussy Kush are going to be selling all kinds of versions of their organically grown catnip. I believe it's grown in
Pussy
BC too.
Kush.
So it's BC
Yeah.
Pussy Bud. But they're also going to have a whole bunch of neat novelties for humans down there as well. So you have to come down and check out what they're going to
Well,
have.
and you can imagine having a name
mind
like
is
that.
spinning.
They've run into a lot of opposition, just like we actually have with the 420, Music and Arts Festival name. So we're really supportive of them. We think that their product is really great, and I think it's brilliant calling it that because
Yeah.
I always thought catnip
Pussy
looked
Kush,
like
man.
weed. So it's
Weed for
cat
cats.
weed.
Yeah.
And
It is
speaking
cat
of weed, don't forget we also have the Weed Girls are going to be down there as well. And the Weed Girls, what my understanding is, they're just launching everything. But there's 3, 4, is it 5 of them? How many?
I think there's going to be 3 girls that are
Three
there.
girls with their licenses, and online they do all kinds of bud reviews, oil reviews, product reviews. I guess like vaporizers and all that. Cooking with, and how to make things, and so they'll be there doing their thing. And that's the cool thing about the Weed Girls is it's going to be that whole aspect of stripping down the stereotypes and showing these are regular people doing
Jess Panther.
regular things. Yeah.
Jess Panther, our friend Jess Panther. She's one of the Weed Girls.
Oh, is she one of the
Is
Weed
she?
Girls?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, cool. See,
okay.
so we're learning more. They're about to launch their website, so who knows? Hopefully, by the time the festival comes around, they'll have their website. I'm sure there'll be lots of stuff there as well too. So
We have a tarot reader that's going to be coming down there as well.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. She does a lot of natural therapies as well. And
What's her name?
her name is Mylene.
Okay. Good.
And that sounds interesting.
Nate's got like some
I got one after
he's
me.
got a beef. Yeah. Psychic
I
beef.
got one that's constantly putting a curse on me.
Oh, I know who that is.
Celestia will have to go and do some
Yes.
millennium work, I think.
Yes, no, I actually think I'm under the same thing.
Yeah.
For whatever
The
reason,
whole half of the city.
I don't even know
Yeah.
her, which is weird. But anyway, so the one we have down there, she's awesome. She does Reiki, and she also teaches yoga. She won't be doing that there, but she'll be promoting her business a little bit. And there's a few other. I don't have them 100% confirmed.
A lot of things aren't confirmed yet. Still, these artists, I tell you.
Well, did you mention
Almost as
Maria
big.
again?
Well, you can.
Let's mention him again.
Yeah.
Maria Joaquin.
Yeah, we need to put that on the
Singer from Strangers. He does this amazing art, and I've been watching him go, since
Yeah,
he
me too.
started
I've been
doing this,
watching
and
him,
and it's just amazing, like the detail of his art. It's out of this world, man. It's totally, and a lot of it is also like there's like it's like some of it is like horror characters or actors, and then some of it's like erotic art and stuff,
Yeah.
like
I was looking
crazy
at it. It's
penises
really cool.
like coming out,
Yeah.
like going in, inside of itself through whatever, you know what I mean? Weird stoner type shit.
Cool.
Yeah, another
Stoner
artist.
sex.
Yeah.
Another artist we have is Josh Crichton, and he actually has a lot of his work in the Next Level as well. And it's really cool, very abstract, but done on kind of really interesting medium. Like he has round ones, and they're really, some of them almost look neon or fluorescent. I think some of them might be, but they're all lacquered over, and they're just absolutely gorgeous.
Cool.
Something really different to put on your walls. So I can just see this growing. There was actually a bunch of people that I used to have in my store that one of them moved to BC. She's probably going to be back next year. So she said, when I come back, I will definitely be in it. I had a couple others that I've gotten to know through different exhibits, or I've had them, display their stuff in the store, and some of them couldn't attend this year, but they're all down for next year. They're like, oh, I have a whole year to plan. And
They'll be in trouble next year with a whole year to put this thing together.
oh, it's going to be amazing. I'm so excited to see where even just the art part of the whole thing is going to go. But then I'm also excited to see what's going to happen more with the cannabis side of it, because we'd like to actually have a separate cannabis area, because that has to be 18
fucking
plus.
next year,
And 420's
you'll
on
be
Friday.
selling weed.
Yeah.
Close. It's looking like it's going to be Canada Day 2018. So,
Oh.
So-
we're
Yeah.
really close to it.
Oh man, that's when the cops will be the dickiest.
Cannabis Day.
Yeah.
The fucking 2 months.
Yeah, exactly. But the fun,
Cannabis.
It's gonna be, you know it is.
That's gonna be the
You know
trademark.
it- Oh, they've already set it into
Yeah.
motion.
Yeah.
That's why I said it. They've already got me brainwashed.
our neighbor has a garage or a flag in the garage in the ceiling that has, of course, it's the Canadian flag, but it's a cannabis flag.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you know, it's out there. But I found it really interesting, though, when we were trying to approach more of people from the medical marijuana side. A lot of them were like, we don't want to be involved because it's a music festival. And we're like, why would you not want to be involved with that?
Market your brand. You know?
Yeah, so that was
Because they're making $1 million a day.
Yeah, they're trying to paint a
Yeah.
picture.
They're
too,
like, we would
you
lose
know,
money if I stopped to pick up this $1 million. I'm going to lose the
There's
money
been
by
also-
stopping to
there's
pick
been
up
a
the
big
money.
battle, like over the years, trying to battle that propaganda that was, from
Yeah.
Reefer Madness
Well,
on.
but I noticed they've been
You
kicking
know.
that back up again lately out here.
Well, they
on the
could-
They've
local
been always
news.
keeping it.
It's
They,
like,
they
fuck,
have never
man.
stopped.
Like,
Well,
really?
that's,
You know.
the
Well, no, it seemed like it was
ultra-conservatives.
leaning off, and then now it's like ramping
Yeah.
back up.
Well, again, that's the whole idea of this. We want to bring it all together, and it just, the timing of it couldn't be any better. Like, we didn't know that this was how the government was going to lean and go so quickly, but maybe it was, everything happens for a reason, and that's why we're putting this thing together. Because I can only imagine what it's going to be like 3 years from now, when it won't matter, and we can be selling baked goods or.
You mean when
Tincture.
420's on Saturday?
Yeah. Exactly. I was already thinking about that.
got it figured out,
Oh, dude, I had it figured out a few years ago when I was I was gonna do it.
Talk
because,
about that.
and because I threw up this when 420 was on a Saturday.
The last
time.
08. Or
Yeah,
no,
I don't know. It was
like
later than
12.
So I put on this thing at the distillery, and it was 420 party.
Yeah.
And I got like sponsors, and I had stuff. I gave away bongs and all this stuff.
Just
and,
Cron Goblin, wasn't it?
yeah, Cron Goblin. And
'Cause that was, like,
was it
when they
Lavago?
first started.
Yes.
Yeah, Lavago
Yes.
too. So
Fuck yeah.
yeah, man.
On the bill.
And it was such a good time. And
And then the next year, Harley did one.
yeah, and it was on a Sunday.
Yeah.
But he still had it on a Saturday.
Yeah.
For that one, but yeah, and then it just kind of like was it was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and now Cam and I was getting ready. I was
Thursday's
gonna
not so
put
bad.
one on if there wasn't one going on, like something. You know what I mean?
Fucking stole your idea. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, but when you said you were doing it, I was like, good. That means I don't have to do
And I
it.
can go and have fun.
Exactly, and you know what? I know he's gonna do a great job with it, so of course I'm gonna support him.
Yeah, like that thing you were doing was just the one
Yeah, it was
show.
a party.
Wasn't
Because-
some in-depth festival.
No.
This one it's pretty much become my full-time job, and I see it just continuing that way because we want to make sure that we do it justice and we do it right and we do it so it's professional and so people want to start coming to it from all over. I mean, we have a lot of people coming from BC,
Coming from
as you
BC.
can imagine.
A lot of people coming from BC.
Not
Those
that
guys
Nice.
never leave that province.
Well,
They're-
they're coming out
they're
here for
coming
the
here.
420 festival.
there's people coming
I'll
from.
be honest, even in Vancouver, the only thing they have is that big party, that big park downtown.
Yeah.
Everyone's smoking weed on 420. But that's it. Then everyone goes off and does their own thing.
Yeah.
There's not even a thing like this there. So why can't it be here? Cross the mountains, come to Calgary. Let's start something new. First year here, 420 Music and Arts Festival. Let's see where it goes next year.
Yeah, and I mean, lots of the weed that comes here is from BC anyway, so it's not
I
like
know.
you're going to be missing out on your BC weed if you come to Alberta.
And hey, I do remember growing up as a youngster, everyone saying how the best hydroponic pot was in Calgary. So
Oh yeah,
that's true. It's a true thing.
Yeah,
Crazy.
when the demand is high and you're not in the mountains, you do something.
That's how most of this stuff is being grown now. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Right. It's quite funny, actually, where I went to school, I think grades 6, 7, and 8, in a little town called Perth, Ontario. My school was this place called Drummond Central Public School. But the Hershey's factory that wasn't too far from Perth and Drummond Central, in Smiths Falls, Ontario, that's where Tweed is actually based.
Oh, yeah.
And when I first got my prescription through Tweed, I was having some issues on the computer, and I had to call. And I looked at the time. Oh, I still got like 15 minutes before it's time X in Ontario. So I called the 888 Tweed number, whatever it was, and start talking to this guy. And we get all my questions answered. And he's like, "Is there anything else I can do for you, sir, before the calls?" And I'm like, "Yeah, actually, I'm just looking at your address right here in Smiths Falls, and it says 1 Hershey Drive. Is this like the old Hershey's chocolate factory?" He's like, "Oh yeah, it's a little bit different now." I'm like, "Well, that's awesome. I used to go to school in Drummond Central in Perth, and we did a tour there in grade 7 or something like that." Before I get finished, this guy's like, "Man, I went to Drummond Central too, man."
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Wow. You were an alumni.
What was it like growing up by the Hershey factory?
Well, actually, I had a friend.
it seems to me it'd be like,
Did they burn children at night?
Yeah.
I had a friend whose
To
mom
burn
worked
off these
there.
excess children.
I had a friend whose mom worked there, and when we went for our tour, I mean, she'd bring home broken chocolate all the time, like whatever. This was the week they ran the Hershey's bar with almonds, and for a week they made Hershey with almonds, and all the broken bars or the incorrect where the stamp didn't go on correctly would be separated, and they'd have all this chocolate all the time. And
Like
my buddy
bags.
Seth would just bring bags of chocolate to school,
Holy shit.
and everyone would grab it, right? So
That's like
That's
dealing
what it's
dope.
like.
Fuck.
I know,
That's
right?
what it's
Everyone-
like to live by the chocolate factory.
teachers must have loved that
You know,
kid.
it's funny that you say you didn't know, because as I look back now, I remember, all the girls like Seth and all the guys like Seth too.
Oh, wow.
And the teachers,
they didn't like Seth very much at all. But, yeah, so
Because he had the shit.
all the hydroponic pot growing in the chocolate factory. It's still kind of a weird oxymoronic thing.
That is fucking hilarious. They need to get both of those going together.
Yeah.
well, hey, that's the other thing,
Could you imagine if they
Chocolate-infused-
legalize that and Hershey starts putting out
Why
fucking
wouldn't they?
weed bars?
Why
again?
wouldn't they?
That would be
How
awesome.
fucking amazing that would be.
If you're listening
That'd be
right now, the idea is done.
unfucking
It's in the tank.
No, they're not listening. They won't get it.
Yeah.
I said if
They
they're
won't
listening,
get it.
but
They always- they
for a
don't know
smart
the
company-
internet.
Look, I gotta be honest. If you're in a business that deals with anything you can eat or drink or put in your body, if you are not looking at ways to infuse this, well, it's true. It's very true. If you're not looking at ways to infuse this into your product, there's something wrong with you. But even our sponsors, Big Rock Brewery, I just saw they have a hemp beer that's coming out.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Right, we actually had talked about, first of all, kudos to Big Rock. I mean, these guys, without Big Rock, I don't know how much of this stuff we could have done, because
The people that work for them, I mean, I don't know the owners or anything,
Sure.
but the dudes I've met are the fucking shit.
they are all great
I mean,
guys.
they have
Josh
the best
and his
job in
crew.
the world,
Yeah.
but
They work their asses off,
They
too,
work
that's
their
for sure.
fucking asses off, and they party their fucking asses off, and it's an amazing thing to see happen.
And I just want to say again, kudos to Josh and his crew at Big Rock. They've come through in a huge way for us to be the name sponsors to the festival.
Same for Metal Fest. They weren't our main sponsors, but they were fucking killer.
And here's the thing, it's like they didn't mind putting their name on 420.
Right.
There's a couple
yeah,
places
they'll
where-
take.
Yeah, they're not
risk.
scared.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And huge supporters of the arts, whether it be music, dance, theater in this city, in this region, Southern Alberta, the whole province, really. But kudos to them for helping us out. But they're even making a hemp beer, right? So it's, I don't know, it's where we're going to go. That's where it's going to happen.
And I think it's worked for me the way that they support the arts in Calgary alone. It's changed my view of that company to where, like, at first I was like, whatever, this local brewery, they have some okay beer. That's at the time when they started, but now it's like they've got such a vast selection of beer and all the different ones that they like, the one-offs and everything.
Yeah.
And it's gotten more craft beer type of operation, I think, aspects to it. But
But they
yeah,
have the
I just-
facility; they can scale up. Like they're,
it's like
they've got it set up, man.
yeah, I just and all their work towards the arts and everything. It's just really, I just hold them in a higher regard. I respect them for it.
And you talk about all the beer they have. That's the one thing I want to point out. Big Rock is going to be the exclusive beer at the 420 Music and Arts Festival at Distortion. So right now, when you come down to Distortion, I think you can get a traditional, you can get a
I can't have a
grasshopper.
fucking tall can of Kokanee there.
they're gonna have something like the company.
Yeah.
And I think they have that Rhinestone Cowboy. But they're gonna have. I think it's.
That's a good beer. That's a great beer.
Awesome beer.
They're gonna have. And forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't have all the information in front of me, but between 10 and 12 different of their brands of beer there. All the tall boys that they have. They're going to have a draft beer there as well.
Because they're Tall Boy City down at Distortion now. I love it.
I want to point out some of the beers
awesome.
I'm excited to try. They just fit right into the whole idea of the 420 Festival. Of course, is the Session IPA.
Yeah.
Thought that's rather appropriate. And they have the Citradelic.
Yeah, that's also a good beer.
So
yeah.
it's just kind of funny they're tying it. I'm also looking forward to, there's one called Heavy Scotch. And I don't know, maybe I might be wrong. I swear I saw one based in chocolate as well, so I might be wrong
Heavy
on that.
Scotch. I wonder if that's like an innocent.
Yeah, that's
gun
probably.
ripoff.
I think I've seen one. Well, there's lots of chocolate beers out there.
All I know is I plan to try at least one of every beer. I'm gonna be there sun up to sundown anyways. I'll be able to pace it out.
I guarantee I'll be right beside you.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
And I'll be like, yeah, let's check out these beers.
Let's check out these beers.
Well, one of the really cool things about the festival too is, we've been watching the popularity of food trucks over the last, number of years.
Talk about that. Who's going to be there?
Well, it's really funny. The very first person that had contacted us was a guy named Richard, and he owns the business Seriously Cereal. And we were like, that's totally perfect. So what he does is he's got a ton of cereals, well, like pretty much anything that you can buy in the grocery store, but also
Cookie Crunch.
Yeah,
he has
Fruity Pebbles,
he has
strawberry,
everything.
honeycomb,
like everything.
Frankenberry.
This is how I grew up.
Frankenberry, yes.
Yes.
Frankenberries. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
And then he has, I don't know, around 80 different Pop-Tarts, which is like,
yes.
I didn't even know they made that many different varieties. So,
and don't forget all the different milks. So if you want to have low fat, soy, almond, or hey, I've got kids. Nate, you've got a young one. Have you yet to have any kind of cereal with chocolate milk in it yet? Because I'm telling you,
Well,
He's like,
I'm
don't promote
diabetic.
that.
And I fucking.
well, you could have.
I'm a sugar
chocolate
Nazi.
almond
Let's
milk.
put it that way.
Chocolate almond milk. I don't think there's much.
Oh man.
Right?
Yeah.
He'll have all that stuff, and he does baking.
That's fucking unbelievable.
He does
Yeah,
baking
I've
as well.
seen
So
And what is it, like $5 a bowl or something?
I don't
That's
know.
brilliant.
I-
Fuck, I'm gonna go
Does
look
it
this guy up
it won't
tomorrow.
matter. That's every
Yeah, totally.
2 or 3
So
hours
he
I might be
is-
out there having a bowl of cereal.
he's
This is good for
literally
you.
there the whole festival. He is going to be there
Sun up to
every
sundown
night and
during the
all
expo.
day on Saturday, which is fantastic.
Good. Then the D doesn't have to open their stupid kitchen.
No, in fact, they were actually stoked to actually not have to even worry about the kitchen.
Well, and,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
one thing I
So you
just
can bring your
saw.
food into Distortion. You don't have to eat at the food truck. Bring the food in.
Trust me,
Nice.
nobody's going to be offended that I
Yeah.
called their kitchen stupid. Including
Who's
all of
working
them.
back there? Yeah.
Could be anybody, bro.
Well,
It's
I
chicken
think I'll
fingers,
be
man.
chained up back there.
Yeah.
It's the gimp. It's
Yeah.
the gimp.
Yeah. Fuck. Wow.
Another cool thing I just saw today is that Richard is starting to do monthly cereal boxes. So he puts 2 mystery
Really?
rare cereals in this box and has Pop-Tarts and cereal bars, and you pay a flat rate fee, and it goes out to you every month, and you get different surprise
Holy
cereals.
fuck. He's like
I
the Dollar
know.
Shave Club of cereal?
He is like
Cereal's
brilliant.
hilarious, man.
So
That's brilliant.
That's
I
pretty
gotta meet
smart.
this
Yeah.
fucking
I'm
guy.
telling you.
So he is the guy that's there the whole weekend.
Hey, buddy, if you want to come on my podcast, just fucking go to the website, send me an email. Fuck all
Bring some
you
samples with him, eh?
Yeah.
Healthy.
Yeah, healthy
He's
sound.
diabetic.
I'll go for a run.
He has that kind of stuff too. He has that kind of stuff too. You want to have great
Oh,
nuts?
yeah, you want the
course he
fucking
does.
vector?
Great nuts.
Oh, can I get that raisin bran?
Well, some people are going to want
Maple,
Double scoop raisin
how about
bran.
maple raisin bran? He might have that.
Holy shit.
That's unbelievable.
Who else do you have for
Okay,
food
yeah,
trucks?
who else
Yeah.
is on that? Yeah.
So on the Saturday, we kind of ran into a few other events. So the only other one we have that day, unless somebody surprises me and pops out of the woodwork, is Family Fry Guy. And he does poutine, pulled pork, pulled beef, and
shit.
he also does like sausages and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's going to be great.
It's called the meat truck.
That's what I'm
So
talking
he'll
about.
be there during the day.
I can eat as much meat as I want.
Awesome. And then in every evening of the festival, we have Calgary's #1 food truck, the Pierogi
The
Boys.
Pierogi Boys.
Yeah.
That's a good
a
Have you
good
had
mixture
Pierogi Boys?
too,
I'm
you
telling
know?
you.
All pierogies?
Yeah, but
Different shapes?
it's not just your regular pierogies. So how we hooked up with the pierogi boys is I had an event where I really work. Trying distribution, your electronic wholesaler.
Oh my gosh.
He just did that.
Wow.
He did.
Did you just get fired by doing that?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
No, they know what I'm up to.
I'll bleep it.
They know what I'm up to. Anyways, we had an event, and one of our vendors was doing a training, and they wanted. We always get pizza or Swiss chalet or chicken on the way to come in. He's like, we want something different. Bring a food truck in. Do you know any food trucks? Like, well, we just happened to be talking about half a dozen right now, but we reached out to the gal that runs the pierogi boys, and they came down, and they had like Hawaiian pierogies, they have like chili pierogies, they have like
something with bacon.
Mexican pierogi. Oh, the bacon.
Gotta be tough.
Well, just the right. I had with everything on the go. I thought I'm gonna have the whole festival to try everything that's crazy, but you got to go to the base and find out, are the pierogies just good enough on their own. So I had the regular pierogies with bacon and some sausage, and I forget where she tells me that, but they were handmade by the same family, but they get so many pierogies now that they had to devise a system that they have a hand press now that makes them. But the same family makes all the ingredients by hand and makes these pierogies for them. But I'm telling you, just with butter and some onions and the bacon bits on their med, a little sour cream there, deadly. So
imagine being a pierogi dealer.
Yeah. I'm just imagining this like pierogi sweatshop with a bunch of Ukrainians in there, and they're just like walking around with guns, like, make those pierogies
with guns.
too bad my grandma isn't still around, because she made the
grandma made
wickedest
pierogies.
pierogies, and she could make those. I could never believe how many pierogies she would make in a short period of time. It's like you'd go away for 5 hours and come back, and she'd have like 100,000 pierogies in the house. It's like, holy shit, who helped you? She's like, I did them all myself.
The Smurfs.
Yeah.
So the good thing is we have you covered. Like the festival, the doors open at 6 o'clock. The band starts at 7. Just come home.
Oh, really?
Change,
Okay.
come in. Now we have your food figured out for you. You don't have to worry about it. Who cares about the crappy fast food places that are down the street? You can get your food right here at Distortion, and it'll be different every night as well too. So.
And if you have to go have an all-day breakfast, you can.
Exactly.
Right by if you have to.
Till 9
You're an
o'clock.
addict.
Well, you can get an egg McMuffin at McDonald's.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And speaking of fast food, I'm going to point
Sure,
out
that's
one real cool thing. So Kent from OFAT, we're kind of finalizing everything, and he sends me this message. He goes, "Oh, I got a really weird thing I want to ask you." And I'm really looking forward to meeting this guy. I've been emailing since November, pretty much, but I guess he's a huge hockey fan.
Oh, yeah.
And him and his wife watch all the Dallas Stars game, and he apologized for how bad their season was this year. But he says because they're such huge hockey fans and they appreciate everything Canadian when it comes to hockey, they notice when they watch all the games in Canada, particularly, they see the Tim Hortons slogans and all that. So they look into Tim Hortons, and he's like, there wouldn't happen to be like a Tim Hortons close to Distortion or the hotel where we're staying.
You share a parking lot.
It's going to sound kind of funny, but we're hoping to get some kind of Tim Hortons Canadiana. Like
You got to take them down to Saddle Dome too.
Yeah, I was wondering.
They're gonna get it. They're gonna be like, what?
I had that. There was some touring band that came through. I think it was those. What was that show? I think maybe you put it on that. That band from fucking Norway.
Well, Leprous, they wanted to see the Saddle Dome.
Yeah.
And the Calgary Tower. It was very important to them.
Yeah, that was weird, eh? It was
That's
funny.
the image.
Well, but they were
That's
into
the
hockey,
images
and they
for
actually wanted to see,
the Saddle Dome.
Because one of them, very
It's
good, and I forget which guy it was, but one of them has a very good friend Finland, who plays for the Flames.
Oh, yeah.
And he wanted to see
his
where
best
they play.
friend's Mika Kippersoff.
Something like that, right? So yeah, I drove them down, and they checked that out.
Yeah, that's cool. And then where'd they go for food?
I dropped them off in front of like 1813 or whatever on 17th Avenue.
Okay.
So I dropped them off somewhere. There was like 4 or 5 places right there, and you can get this here, you can get that there, you can get this here.
That's cool because those guys were very foreign.
They were
very like, oh wow, oh look at this, oh my god, the mountains,
That's awesome.
the mountains right there. Yeah,
That's how we are. That's
exactly.
how we
That's
are
how
when we go
would
there.
be.
You know.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, let's go look at the giant pit. Or whatever they have there. The salt spring.
the slough.
World's largest slough. Yeah.
They were actually great guys to deal with. That was the first big show we did with the first, touring band of international style. And
That was
when
maybe
I-
the most packed I've ever seen Distortion.
well, until you came down to the Truck Fighters, I have to admit. But too bad Ghost
That
was
was
that night,
more
because
than
I'm
that?
telling you, Leprous would have been sold out if it hadn't been for Ghost that night. Well, we had over 150.
I think so. But yeah, Truck Fighters, that was.
Truck Fighters was sold
amazing
out.
show.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah,
That was sold out, eh?
sold out.
Fuck, I was just really.
We were
drunk.
nice and put 10 tickets at the door. We probably should have put 10 tickets at the door, but we did. Just to be nice.
So it sounds like that, kind of like, and trust me, you don't have to talk about your business too much, but that these stoner acts are like kind of reasonable with their fucking guarantees.
Didn't end up too bad actually. Again,
Like, well, but that you can keep the ticket price so low.
well, that was the
stuff,
thing.
right?
We could only get 300 people in Distortion. So they had to kind of understand that as well.
Yeah.
And really, here I'm just flying the Wolfat flag high. They are headliners, but I couldn't believe how easy it was to work then to get a deal figured out. Other than, of course, we had to get them out.
Did you have an
there
agent?
and take care? No, I just.
That's why.
That was the thing. Actually, I haven't dealt with any agents with any of these bands. Actually.
See,
Just dealt
there you
with
go.
directly.
That's why.
At the very end, some stuff with Black Bastard, actually just to speed it up and get everything all signed, but everything went pretty smooth. But
Huh.
Ken was great to work with, I have to admit, to get everything going. When Patrick was standing there
You
beside
guys
me,
were so shocked.
oh,
It was
Patrick
so
was
funny.
standing beside me. We're already messaging some big bands and things are kind of working with them, but some of the money coming back, I'm like, whoa, okay, that's kind of crazy
Yeah.
and all that. And Patrick says, and I might have even been playing, I don't know, we were listening to some stoner rock. He's like, we both like Wolfat, why don't you message those guys? I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool, but I want to come up here with Wolfat. So, but I messaged him, went to their Facebook page, message, went outside for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, did our thing, and came back, and we noticed there was a response back, and there it was. He was like, oh yeah, that day is clear, we'd love to come out there. I think it might be our first show in Canada. That was funny how I did. I think it might be our first show in Canada, but
He couldn't quite remember because it's a haze. I don't know. But yeah, so these guys were just like, holy shit. They're like, oh my God.
we found a headliner.
That's fucking cool.
And it's cool, they're coming up, and
So is it is you guys and Patrick who are putting most of this together?
read the whole thing, yeah. Like Patrick helped me with ideas to some bands, and he's done a shitload of graphic work for us as well. And actually, one real cool thing that Patrick has done for the festival, he's put together this almost a 3-hour loop of psychedelic videos and trippy images and just
Awesome.
all this craziness, so that even just when you're chilling out, hanging back by the merch, and everyone knows that big screen they have up at the back of Distortion. He's going to have all this stuff playing up there. And of course, we're going to be recognizing our sponsors, all those awesome little 30-second Big Rock videos of all their new beers will be up there too. But the work he's put, I've been looking forward to it. He started out, well, I'm going to make it about an hour. I'm like, no, it's got to be more than an hour. I'd be playing 6-7 times. And he just kept encouraging when we gave him ideas.
Yeah,
I
put
can't
this
say
in, put that
can't
in.
say some of the things that he's going to put in there, because I'm sure he's probably breaking copyright laws galore and all that. But again, just another thing we can just add to the festival, the whole thing. We even looked at actually trying to get video screens on either side, like they did for the Calgary Beer Corps. But again, I think it costs a lot of money. And all of a sudden, the Scottishness in me really started to come out a lot.
Yeah, I've had to poke him a few times over that. It's like, okay, chill out. Okay. But it's good to have that too, because, well, I don't think I've spent wildly either, but...
No, I think we're floating that line right now. It's like riding a wave,
Manageable.
It's funny, we spend money and then some money comes in. We spend money and some money comes in, so...
Yeah.
And I was going to mention about Patrick. Like, Patrick has been a part of Metalheads United for quite some time now.
Well, about a year, two.
About a year and a half, 2 years.
Year and a half, 2 years.
You know,
Came on, worked with us at the internet radio station. And, we just kind of clicked because he was also in Calgary and he wanted to be involved with some of the stuff we were doing. And
And when we left, he just kind of came
Isn't he on TV?
He is, yeah.
he
I've
was.
seen him on Shaw.
Is he still on? Is he on another show?
Yeah, it's the same show, but they only do so many episodes, and then they run them, and then they do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he does a
thought
lot
he's
of
done
other work like that, and Metalheads United. I mean, we started that 4.5 years. It'll be 5 years ago in August, and if you would have told us then that we'd be sitting here now, or doing something like this.
Yeah, because what is that? Just explain that to the
Well,
people.
Metalheads United was...
It's just a it's a Facebook.
It started as a Facebook page.
just posting videos.
And it kind of came out of
links
our
and clips.
disgust with how many people are ultra elitist when it comes to music.
Sure.
And we just said...
You can't like Pantera. You're not a metalhead if you like Pantera. Oh, Mastodon. That's not metal.
You know, and it's
The new
just like,
Maston record's awesome.
I haven't listened to it.
It's
It's
awesome.
sitting there waiting for me to listen to them on.
It's my favorite record.
They're wicked. Maybe, hey, that's the band we should
year.
try to get.
Next year.
yeah.
You heard
But-
it here first, folks.
But
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how it kind of started. Is we just thought, you know what, listen to whatever you want, and you know, metal is whatever to different people. So why should people look down on other people because of it? So we thought, we'll just start posting all kinds of stuff. And I remember when we started the page, we thought, okay, let's get 200 people liking the page, and then we'll start posting. And I remember we had 200 people, and I was going to start posting on Sunday night, and we did them like shows. So we would have, I don't know, I had a show called The Witching Hour, and so I'd post a lot of goth type metal and black metal and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my god, I'm going to be posting. And I was like freaking out because there's 200 likes on the page.
Oh, 200
And,
people.
you know, and I look back now and I go, wow, I don't even know why I was freaking out, but I was. Like, I just had never done
It
anything.
was something you were doing that was your own.
Yeah, and I had never done
wanted
anything
to
like
do it
that
right.
before. And then we gradually started actually almost right away, we had a bunch of people who were admins, and we just had a full slate of shows. So throughout the day, you could go to the
So when you
page.
say show, though, is that a radio show or is
No,
that
it was-
just a
it was-
posting
we would
show?
It was a posting show.
Posting a series of videos that if you're hanging out with nothing to do, you could be clicking on our page, and each
Wow.
video that got posted
Yeah.
every 5 or 10 minutes would just
Interesting
be
way to look at it.
the
Yeah.
soundtrack to your Facebook
Yeah.
session, you know?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So we would have people that you would have different themes. Like, you always had the Saturday morning, what was it? The Metal for
Metal for
breakfast.
Breakfast.
Before that, we had the Wake and Bake. And it was like a full-on stoner
Maybe two
psychedelic.
guys in New York State that would just post stoner, doom, and sludge for 2 or 3
and
hours.
in
Saturday
between
morning.
posting the music, we'd post all kinds of pictures, so that I'll be posting like the, you know, chicks smoking bongs and stuff like that that were really hot, because then more people would come to the page. And I had one that I would do in the afternoons called the Afternoon Quickie with Celestia. And what that would be, because mid-afternoon I was always so tired and I just feel like, I just want to go have a nap. So I would take a set of 5 songs and I would post 5 songs, and they would have a theme, or I did profiles on bands, and I would just say, okay, today we're going to cover Gorgoroth, and you know, I would post the five songs, and I would post, you know, pictures of the band, you know, live
Yeah.
pictures or whatever, and then that would be that. And I
That
would
was back when you could see everything on Facebook.
yeah, and people would
Yeah.
In
people
real
would-
time?
In
Yeah.
real time.
People would see all of that, and the page just grew, and we had at one point close to 40 admins from all over the world. We have a huge contingent right now in Australia that stuck with us.
80,000 likes, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
How much?
80,000.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you how many
It's got
likes
a
we paid
huge
for.
reach.
0. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how many likes
Yeah.
we paid for.
But yeah, Australia and New Zealand, we have tons of, like, we could pretty much go to Australia or New Zealand and stay anywhere for free, because we have developed these relationships with these people there. And then we have one of our admins who's in Dallas, who actually has some pretty strong connections there. We're going to start working with a club there and doing promoting for them on the Metalheads United page. And
Wow.
she's going to be at all the shows taking photographs. And you know, we have some pretty big plans for it, but we started it and then we kind of got lost in the middle of it. We ended up going and doing internet radio. We got really involved in what was happening in Western Canada. Then the
Then
whole
Chase Choice happened.
Well, then along came...
yeah, but then along came Shay.
Hey, but then along came Mark Russell and Distortion, and he saw what we were doing on promoting on Facebook and on internet radio, and he said to us, hey, we have this club happening, and maybe you guys would like to be involved and, you know, put
Yeah.
on a show and broadcast. I was like, put on a show? Like, what do you mean put on a show? He's like, well, you know, you get some of your
Bands.
friends that are in bands, and they come down and play. I'm like, and how do you do that exactly? So Uncle Mark just kind of took me
Yeah.
under his wing there, and you know, him
Good old Unky Mark.
him
Yeah,
and Katie, and
he's good
Katie's
that
been
way.
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And we started putting on, you know, local small shows. I've been chasing you guys for a while, you fuckers, but that's okay. We'll get there eventually.
Rarity. You gotta
Chase
apply
us
rarity.
And then, you know,
We're expensive.
one show leads to another. You hooked me up with a couple guys that have touring bands that are coming through. Nate hooks me up with some bands that are coming through. We start doing bigger things, and the word starts spreading. And next thing you know, someone's messaging us because Leprous is looking for a place to gig, and we've put on shows at Distortion. And then, lo and behold, I see truck fighters want to come to North America, and I just message the band and, hey, we'll come to Calgary, just give us lots of money. And that's how that all started. And, you know, and the next thing you know, we're doing the Weed Eater show now, and we're working on other things in the background, and lo and behold, we have this festival happening, and I think it's just going to grow from there with the relationships we're building and network. It's now like the Metalheads United network, and we're growing actually city by city. We have people in Edmonton that want to help us. We have people in Saskatchewan and Regina that are helping out. Xander at the Exchange to promote her shows as well. Yeah, we're developing the street team. You went out and did a shitload of postering for us.
Yeah.
Patrick and I have done a couple runs. That's the idea. We want to, if we're going to be involved in a band that's going to be playing across Canada, if we have people in the Metalheads United network that are in each city, then let's help them promote their shows so that they remember that, hey, Canada is a good place to come to, especially Western Canada, when we come through and all these Metalheads United come out and try to help people to turn up to our show, no matter who it is. I mean, we're doing stuff for Concert Works, we're doing stuff for the Exchange, we're going to be having, Taylor's moving to Vancouver, we'll have Taylor out in Vancouver.
Over the years, we've all seen the benefits of people just
come together,
putting in to just the music scene. I kind of look at the music scene a little bit differently than maybe some people, because I think of it in larger chunks. I mean, I think of it as Western Canada, Eastern Canada, or the middle, and then Eastern, the no man's land there,
flyover states.
But it's just we've seen what the results are from all the work that people have put in over the years, and just helping each other, and it's a good thing to do, man. And it's rewarding.
Well, it's the key.
Nancy, you could say it's rewarding, like to when you get all those people at the show and they're having a good time, and it just grows. Get right.
You care to comments?
Nancy just got a microphone shoved right in her face.
Sorry.
And I think it's kind of interesting. From the time we came into the scene here, we saw it really evolve, and it seemed like things were really moving forward. And then the last year we had maybe a bit of digression in how things were happening.
No, it just set us on the right path, is all it really did.
No, I'm just saying overall this music scene here in Calgary.
Oh, okay, sorry.
And I find that there's people who really want to do things in the right way and want to really help out the bands and put on great shows and just do things in a professional way. And I really like seeing that. It seems like we're all starting to come together now and help each other out, even though I guess we're kind of in competition. But I also think it's kind of funny because we all
but we're not.
We all do different kinds of shows, so we're really not. So if we can all work together, I think it makes the whole scene a lot stronger and a lot better. And hopefully we'll weed out some of the people that maybe aren't doing such a great job.
It's just like when, Che got me and Cage involved to make sure when we first started doing shows that we weren't stepping on each other's toes.
Yeah.
And, you got your thing going on, and I have something coming on, and I want to, find a way that's going to work out and make it happen, and as long as it's not going to clash, that I just think that's the way to go.
And I don't even think they were really on talking terms. And I was like, make it happen, fucking deal with it. Fucking, you guys talk to each other and figure this shit out and make it good for everybody.
Well, that's the idea.
Sometimes you can't get around having a show on the same night.
No, you can't.
It's Calgary.
A band is coming through town, and they're going to be in Calgary on this day, and the show's going to happen. You may have, Slayer playing. That's a crazy example, but you know what I'm trying to say. You may have a great show happening at Dickens, and Distortion is empty, and a great band is coming through that needs a place to play, and they're going to have to play there no matter what. It's not like you chose to bring band decks in and go up against.
And what I'm finding nowadays is, and it's probably been that way for a long time, but like the big shows that come in, they all end a bit earlier than the bar shows. Yeah. So on those nights where you think, everybody's going to be at that big concert. Well, a lot of those people head over to the bar after, and then that bar show is even that much more better.
Yeah. Well, a prime example, last year when Black Sabbath came through on the last show, we had a show booked, and the Black Sabbath show was supposed to be much earlier, and then it got rescheduled, and I was just like, no, please.
You knew it.
I knew it. I was like, it's going to...
You secreted it to the universe.
I did not, but I knew it was going to end up on our freaking night of our show, and sure enough, it did. But... it was pretty amazing because we just started the show a little bit later, and there was actually a ton of people that came down, and there was people that we had never seen at Distortion before, which I thought was great because
half
a lot
off you're with your Black Sabbath ticket or something like that.
That's always
that's huge.
How do you get those people who go to those big shows?
These are metal fans that are out there that are going out to see live metal music. What is preventing them from understanding or finding out or even knowing that these things are going on and that the bands are good? That's the thing. I can understand where you walk into a club.
That's our whole business model, is trying to bridge that gap.
Because they're spending $200 for a ticket to go to Black Sabbath.
It's very hard to do.
Right?
Yeah, it is.
When I went to Creator on Friday, Creator in Obituary, after the show, I ran into this couple, and they're from Edmonton, and I was like, "Let's go to Distortion." And they're like, "Really? Where is that?" And so I brought them down, and we had a good time down there after that show. So that's all it takes sometimes. It's just to hey, why don't you come do this? So
I'm always excited when there's a show at Distortion, and somehow we manage to get people in there who normally would never come to a smaller club. They'd always go to a larger venue, and they come to a show at a smaller club, and they see what it's like.
Your black metal show that we put together for you.
Yeah, the Uwada show.
Black Metal Friday.
Yeah, and it was pretty amazing. It was a hard sell because, of course, tons of people were up in Edmonton at the Black Morning Light Festival, but part of the reason we did that show and part of the reason some of the bands that were on there is because we helped facilitate getting them up here. And I said, well, if Helleborus is going to be playing in Edmonton, they're playing in Calgary, because I basically found that band in a small group, helped them with John, take them to John Asher and said, here, work with these guys, and they've just grown from there.
Yeah. You also did the right marketing to get people to come out that night.
Well, I target it. I mean, that's the big thing, is I spend a lot of time looking at who is this going to appeal to, and how do I target the marketing to it. And so I spend a lot of time thinking about that and putting it together, and that's what you kind of have to do. You don't have to spend a ton of money to do it. You don't have to just kind of blanket everything. You just have to, I guess, maybe do it in a smarter way, or find a way that you can just get more bang for your buck by looking at who's going to come to the show. But
that's what we're doing a lot of this festival too, is really some of the unique marketing that opened up to us because of sponsorship money, some ideas that we were able to even consider, but just some of the way this is morphing. And I'll just go out there right now and say that the money we spent to have PR involved through Asher Media, that was the best amount of money we ever spent. And I think, actually, I won't say how much it was, but it could have been double the amount, and that still would have been worth it because of...
Don't tell John.
Don't tell John.
You know what? John is John, and he'll still be the same way that he is before, but
he'll charge you double next year.
But it's because of him that we've got the Herald and the Sun, QR77 are involved. Skunk Magazine through their the Highway magazine they do. Yeah. They're going to have a bunch of those out to be handed out, and we have articles and stories and publications that just wouldn't be happening without him helping, and the exposure.
Yeah, no, he's good.
So marketing is the key.
Yeah.
So you have a host of this whole thing too, right?
Yeah. No,
we know her.
No, that's not who's hosting it. It's Scam, the snake oil poet. You said we know her.
Yeah, no, it's the dude.
Taylor is actually what Taylor's doing for us. She's part of Metalheads United Network, and she, any of her metal interviews that she does, she posts them on Metalheads United as well. And so what we asked her to do for the festival is we actually asked her if she would like to interview all of the bands. She's trying to interview as many of the bands locally ahead of time, because that's an awful lot of bands to try and interview coming up right on the festival weekend. But she is one of our judges we actually have a beard contest as well, and she is one of the celebrity judges for the beard contest, which I can't think of a more perfect person, because that woman, I thought I loved beards. That woman loves beards so intensely. I went out for lunch with her, and I couldn't get her to look at me when we were talking, because her head was swiveling looking at all the guys with beards, and I was just laughing. I was like, you're perfect for the she's like, can we touch the beards? I said, well, I think we should be able to, because you have to see,
Gotta get a
you
feel
know.
for
Nate's
the
like,
beard.
no, you cannot.
Girls can.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't think guys be running their hands.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
You would be.
Yeah, so
and they're surprised when I'm surprised.
I love Taylor. I think she's super awesome.
Yeah, so she actually...
She's doing a bunch of marketing for us as well, besides the interviews too. So.
Yeah, and she, today, I'm really looking forward to seeing this interview. She was interviewing the High Kicks in their van. And they told her there was candy and kittens, so that should be interesting.
And kittens.
Maybe you should test her and see if she's still...
Taylor, are you okay?
Yeah. Sugar text.
Guys are pretty greasy.
Yeah. So you can tell about...
She's just covered in grease.
So our host, we actually do have a different host.
And I can't say his last name. I can never pronounce it properly.
I can't either.
We've got the Snake Oil poet Scam is going to be hosting the festival, doing his, he does all kinds of poetry and weird elocution and spoken word stuff. But even just, I'll tell you right now, just him announcing the next band will be an adventure on its own too.
Yeah.
So
cool.
So he
looks like some kind of steampunk dude.
Oh, he's in England right now. This is his second trip this year, and he has these billionaires that get him to come out. And
I think he's at an Eyes Wide Shut party as some kind
Oh
of
my
MC,
God.
some kind of entertainer.
and
Seriously.
Here we go.
and
He'll come back and tell us.
I know who you're talking about.
And he'll come. He'll relay that story in his little 10-minute break between bands. So
One of Nate's Freemason brothers.
So we have Scam hosting the whole thing. Actually, we've got a friend of mine, DJ Von Jag. He's quite the character. He's going to be spinning, turntabling, all kinds of stoner rock,
cool.
and what he does is really interesting. We were out one night. We were at one of the weird carnivals burlesque events that the great Venditti does, and he had Guns N' Roses going and something Rolling Stones. And he was doing the turntablism thing with it while another track played. And it was pretty cool. So he came over to my house. I gave him like the 100 greatest stoner rock tunes of all time. I'm about to go to his place next week and sort through 12 crates of vinyl and say,
Crazy, a talented
you can
DJ.
play this and you can't play that. You can play this. And he really wants to fit in. He'll actually be the first guy to admit, well, I don't really know the whole stoner rock thing until he came over and realized what stoner rock was. And he was like, well, I'm going to play this wicked cover of Gin and Juice done by this, metalish guy. I'm like, oh, let's play the original Gin and Juice. He's like, oh, I can do that? I go, dude, this is a 420 festival. You can, as long as it fits in and, it'll work. So, we have him doing some spinning as well, which would be cool. So we have the whole thing covered. From the time you walk up, you can get your food. So you can be entertained all the way through. I'm sure you
Next year, you got to get Snoop Dogg. Somehow.
well,
just walking around. Just walking around.
I won't lie to you, we actually did talk to Snoop Dogg about
No way.
Yeah,
What did he say? I bet he's like, yeah, $50K and I'll do that.
Oh, I wish.
just wait.
I wish.
Wow.
Well, Snoop is Snoop, and he just wants a whole bunch of stuff when he shows up, and he wants a whole bunch of stuff when he leaves. And
How much was it? Like lots.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And he flies up on private jet with his own crew, so you can imagine how much all that costs. And
Holy
you have to put
shit.
him up to the top of the lobby.
Is he charging Trailer Park Boys this much money?
Oh, I'm telling you, he's
They
a
gotta make
corporation
some
now,
money
right?
on that, though, right? Like Netflix.
Fuck, I
It's
don't
got
know.
to be a few $1 million
I'm telling
they
you,
make.
he's
but-
doing shows with Martha Stewart. He is mainstream as it gets.
Exactly.
We were talking about Tweed. I think he owns. I'm going to get the number wrong, but he owns. I wouldn't say it, but he owns like a huge, massive portion of the public shares of Tweed.
Yeah.
And he has his own, Snoop or Leafs by Snoop. I think.
Come on, Snoopy,
He has his
throw
own-
us a bone.
He has his own. This is why I thought, hey,
Come up to
honestly, I'll tell you right
Cal
now, I
Nizzle
thought it'd be
again.
cool to have Snoop as the host of the 420
shit.
Festival.
Calvin.
And that's,
Listen to me, Calvin.
And that's when we reached out. And actually, I'm sitting at a lunch with a client of mine, and we're talking about the festival. And it's funny with the things you find out about some of your clients. And this is one of the most straight-laced guys that I ever met in my life. And next thing you know, I'm hearing all these stories about the bongs and the edibles. And his partner's sitting there, one of his technicians, and he's kind of a hip-hoppy looking guy. He's got the hat over his ears and the straight bill and all that. And we joked and said, we'd like to have Snoop Dogg. He's like, hang on, I'll text him for you. That reaction was pretty much fun. Like, you're full of shit. And his boss goes, oh, no, he can talk to Snoop. I'm like, well, how is that even possible? And well, when Snoop comes to Canada, I work with a production company that gets them from Vancouver to Toronto, so like I can text him. And he did. He literally texted Snoop Dogg from our lunch, and of course he's telling me, well, I probably won't hear back from him for like, a day or two or something like that. So I think we're halfway through our beer and our food, and he texted off, and we weren't even done, and bing, or I didn't know, it was a weird ringtone, as you can imagine, for Snoop. Maybe it was bong hits, I don't know. But he had messaged back and said, yeah, well, it sounds really cool. This is what I need just to even start thinking about it. I'll get back to you with some money later on. Because he looked at the calendar and says, no one's got me booked. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then he got back with, with the stuff to start it off, and then that would have, I don't know how much that would have cost, but that would have been a lot of money. But then the real money came out, and we're talking 6 figures. And right now, hey, 3-5 years down the road, you never know what will happen. But, for the second year 420 festival...
Can you sell that many tickets?
Well, you'd be in the corral for something like that. And I'm not one to not say that, maybe that's not in our future. I'd like it to get that big. Who wouldn't, right? But, for year 2, just, unless we won the lottery or had some super mega millionaire to sponsor.
I'd be way more stoked on, like, different stuff anyways. Yeah, to be
honest. But in that sense, that started the whole idea that night, and actually when we were hooking up with Josh from Big Rock, and we were taking care of the invoices, the checks at the restaurant we hooked up all the time to meet at, he pulls up one night and he was actually jamming some Snoop Dogg in his car, and he's like, it's not always all stoner rock, more people like. I go, well, I know. And as he drove away, Patrick and I look at each other and go, we gotta have a hip-hop night. So this thing is going to grow. Like, we're looking at seriously doing a hip hop night next year.
Well, why not?
And that can, you talk about how
Cypress Hill could be there.
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
They talk about when you break the festival up and have it at different places. But I'm looking at that, something we have at a different place, it won't clash with what we're doing at Distortion. Yeah, there's going to be the odd person that would like to go to both. I would like to go to both of those events, but for the most part, the hip hop crowd is the hip hop crowd, and the stoner rock crowd is the stoner rock crowd. So that's something we're definitely looking at to next year, and expanding the arts as well as involving more visual arts. We want to get movies and films involved as well. And we have an idea for maybe even a bit of a film festival next year. So
cool, very cool.
I think the thing people have to realize, this started as stoner rock and kind
it started as getting the Chinga to come to Calgary.
The focus is on stoner rock, doom, and sludge. But when you look at it, there are so many other musical styles that 420 runs through, reggae, huge, hip hop, rap, all of those type of things.
Trip-hop.
So we're not really limited, unless we want to be limited to stoner rock. There's almost anywhere we could go with this in the future.
Yeah,
trap.
Yeah.
We're going to put you on the hip hop committee, I think.
That's why
I said Cypress Hill. That's my one submission.
I love hip hop. I actually have a lot of good suggestions in that area. Yeah.
I know Patrick no matter what, we have to get Cannabis Corpse eventually.
Oh, fuck
right?
yeah.
So you can have your death metal night and have certain bands playing with Cannabis Corpse.
If you ever want them, let me know. I think I know somebody that knows them.
Well, maybe we should talk for next year. You never know.
Yeah, no doubt. That's
now
kind of a no-brainer.
Patrick will hear this. He won't let it go. I can promise you that.
I've got Chris Barnes' phone number, too. I could talk to him.
Get old Chad Lee on it.
Yeah.
His buddies with those guys.
That's right. That's what it is, Well, fucking A, thanks for coming over to Nancy's basement here. And,
thanks for having us, Nancy.
Plug your shit again.
So the 420 Music and Arts
420 Festival, you do it.
Yeah, 420, that's right. 420 Music and Arts Festival.com.ca. Go there, you can check out single day passes, weekend passes, all the information for all the bands, all 3 days, and again, it's 22 bands over 3 days, and the free night. We won't forget the free night as well, too.
Three bands that night. Arts Festival.
Fucking
and the expo. Don't forget the expo.
I just said that.
That's right. Saturday, April 22nd from 10 till 4.
Oh, it's just the one day.
Well, we're going to have vendors at the whole expo overall.
Oh, okay.
But to fill a room, that can only be on one day, so that's going to be the Saturday.
I see. Okay.
So,
very cool.
we'll be up till 5 o'clock in the morning on Friday to Saturday.
Probably.
Crash for a couple hours in our car, come back at 8 o'clock in the morning, get Distortion going again. Again, one more time, thank you to the hotel that took away our room that we were going to sleep above the stairs.
No way.
We'll just pitch a tent out back.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, there's lots of hotels around there for anybody that wants
Yeah.
to stay at a hotel.
Absolutely, and the
to come
Holiday Inn
down.
has still got lots of rooms. I can attest to that right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, hey, man. I don't know. Maybe this is up to you, Nate, or whatever. But maybe we could play some songs from the bands, some of the bands that are going to be on the festival after this podcast.
Well, pick one. Is there something you'd like to hear?
Well, you know what? Hey, the whole thing is leading up to the one big event of having Wolf Fat play.
Yeah. Am I gonna get pulled off everything if I play those shit? Are they big signed by?
No,
some
not at all.
fucking
They're
label?
real cool guys, actually.
Okay.
Are you going to be mixing? Are you mixing the festival?
I'll have to look at my schedule, man. I think I have corporate gigs that whole weekend.
okay.
Fuck, I
That's
know
too
it's
bad.
so lame, but if I can get in there, I will. I want to. It's just the money's too good.
I hear you.
I have to eat.
I personally think Nate should get more money to do sound because he does such a good job. It's
Thank
true.
you.
Well, hey, but that's a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother, yeah. We'll do that podcast next. We'll get into the whiskey.
So you're gonna-
We'll just, Nate and Che talk about clubs.
What Nate should get.
Why
Oh my
Nate's
gosh.
the best.
He is the best.
Yeah,
I
well,
know.
we could do that. We could talk about
There's
how awesome I am.
one
for
thing
an
that
hour.
sucks about being in a band with one of the best sound guys in town is like your sound isn't getting done by that guy.
Yeah.
But he does help out quite a bit.
I don't know. So if you have to pick one, I'd say go to 2014's The Conjuring by Wolf Fat and play the title cut. That's the one I'd pick. Because
Okay.
we're conjuring up a nice fuzzy storm April 20, 21, and 22 at Distortion.
Fucking A.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah.
so much.
Thanks for getting hard in Nate's backyard.
In Nancy's basement.
Hey, Nate.
Awesome.
But
So, Dr. Oldham, I know the value of the cold light of reason, but I also know the deep shadows that light can cast, the shadows that can blind men to truth.
What truth? Myth.